TOXIC, toxic productivity, is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's the best thing in the world if you are firstly in it for the short term, secondly if you want to burn out real fast, and thirdly if you want to cultivate low self-esteem. What's cooking, sapiens? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Arham and I'm a 5th year medical student at the University of Oslo in Norway. So 3 chunks in this video, and the first chunk is where I break down my relationship with toxic productivity. So it all began when I was in the 3rd year of medical school. I still remember very clearly sitting at Oslo Central Station right outside Espresso House with a good friend of mine, and we were just chilling there, having a chat. And then he all of a sudden said to me, Arham, you are a medic. You are into medicine, right? I was like, yeah, well, I hope so. And then he says, well, then you should definitely check out this guy called Ali Abdal. He's a YouTuber and a doctor. He has like around 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, and you will definitely enjoy his videos. So you should check him out. So I went back home and I obviously had absolutely no intention of going to YouTube and searching up Ali Abdal. That was not the point. I was just chilling on YouTube that same evening when suddenly a video pops up on my suggested feed, and I was like, whoa, Ali Abdal, I've heard that name before. Oh, that's the guy my friend was mentioning. Maybe I should just click this video and check him out. And that's where the journey began. Man, I was immediately hooked. This guy was so freaking inspiring. He was a full-time doctor working in the NHS in England. Second of all, he was also a YouTuber making tons of videos, like 2 videos every single week alongside a full-time job as a doctor. And then he also had a side business which was also making him like tons of cash. And I was like, man, what's happening here? Something must be wrong. I must be missing out on something, because I have problems balancing medical school and gym, or my work, and this guy is doing so much stuff, so he surely must know something that I do not. Then came COVID-19, the king of all kings, the king of all viruses. And just like every other person out there, I had tons of time to myself, and that's when I decided to actually start making these YouTube videos. Wow. And this is where I thought, okay, you know what, now I have to balance medical school with the YouTube, with my work, with gym, with my family, social life, all that stuff. So now I really need to, start practicing what I have learned from Ali Abdal and all these other productivity channels that I have sort of been watching. So in the first, things were great. I was having a ball, I was managing everything extremely well, and the huge caveat to this entire productivity thing is that you never notice yourself when you fall into the trap. The transition from productivity to toxic productivity is so freaking sublime, it's so subtle that even you yourself will never notice it. For example, if I ask you that, okay, give me the exact moment, the exact day when you turned from a boy into a man, what would you answer? Like, okay, the day I turned 18? Well, no, because that's when you turned 18. When did you exactly turn into a man? The day your puberty started? Well, was it just one day when bam, like suddenly you start seeing all these pubertatal changes? No. Or if I was to ask you, tell me when was the day you fell in love with your girlfriend or your wife? You won't be able to pinpoint the exact moment, the exact time of the date. And that's sort of the thing with toxic productivity as well. You notice that, okay, now I'm in it, but you never notice when you are transitioning into it. Well, then how exactly did I notice that, okay, now I have officially fallen into this trap of toxic productivity? Well, this is where we now talk about the signs that you are a victim. The very first sign or symptom is guilt. When enjoyment brings about more guilt than pleasure or relaxation. Those moments in life when we come home after having a long day, having studied at the library all day long, or having been, busting your bum at work for 8 straight hours, and then you get home, you want to have food and just relax, lay on your couch or in your bed and, just watch Netflix and chill in a non-weird way. And that's when you hear this voice inside your head. However, you decide to ignore that voice completely and you keep on watching Netflix. But here is the deal. Once you are done watching Netflix, that is when the guilt starts to kick in. Instead of, feeling relaxed, you start to feel guilty. And what exactly is this guilt? Well, the feeling, okay, oh, maybe I could have done something better with my time. Why did I spend 2 hours on the couch watching Netflix? I should have, I could have spent these 2 hours on my laptop editing my next video. I could have spent these 2 hours scripting my next video. I could have spent these 2 hours maybe catching up on lectures which I have fallen behind on. That, my friends, is when you know you have fallen into the trap of toxic productivity. However, this is important. Now listen to this. So for me personally, guilt can sometimes be actually quite important because it helps me control my undesirable feelings of being a waste man, of just lying around doing nothing. Sometimes guilt can actually be a good motivator. However, when you already have 2 videos planned, so you're good to go for the next 2 weeks, like I could simply, not do anything, not film any videos, not do anything, and I would still have videos all ready, all set to publish for the next 2 weeks. And even then, I'm sitting and thinking that, wow, man, I should have used these 2 hours in a much better way. That is when you know, okay, that there is a problem, that this guilt is not healthy guilt, but this is actually very unhealthy, and now you start to feel sick. Another example could be eating and watching YouTube, because I personally love to watch YouTube whenever I'm eating. I just hate to simply sit down there and stare at the food. So I have to have something to watch. And if I would end up some days watching a Bollywood movie or an episode from Friends while eating, that would also lead to guilt, because I would be like, man, I should have maybe seen something else, some more useful video, while eating. I should have seen some editing videos, some tricks about the camera, and learn new stuff while I'm having food instead of relaxing then. And also, one more example, when you're traveling in the car or in the bus, and you have your earphones on and you start listening to music, even music becomes a guilt carrier, because you think, okay, you know what, maybe I should instead be listening to a podcast and for self-growth, self-development and all that stuff, instead of listening to music. So even that becomes a problem, and soon all these activities just start bringing about more and more guilt, and even relaxing becomes a real chore. Last week I actually got COVID for the first time ever, and I had to take 4 days completely off school, university, job. I had to just completely relax and wind off. And even relaxing, recovering from COVID, even that was bringing me guilt, because I was like, oh man, I could have used these 4 days to maybe script some more videos. Why am I just laying in my bed and doing nothing? And here is the second symptom. So you start to associate your self-worth with how productive you have been during the day. If you would consider yourself unproductive on a certain day, then you will start feeling like a failure. And what exactly is productive enough? I'm not talking about, just studying 2 hours a day and, maybe just sitting down and planning one video. No, when you are in the trap hole of toxic productivity, this bar is much higher. The expectations of what productive enough is, these are much higher. So for other people, I would still be extremely productive on my unproductive days. However, for myself, even the most productive of days, even that would not be enough. I could always do more, like this example I just gave you. I would have 2 videos planned for the next 2 weeks. I would be good, but even that is not enough. If I don't sit down and film another video, I would start feeling like a failure. So there is always this urge to do more, and this is what leads to the third symptom, which is burnout. This is where you start feeling tired, you have less energy, you feel really drained, and that's when you run into this vicious cycle, because now you have less energy, and less energy means that you're not able to be productive enough, and when you are not being productive enough, that leads to more guilt. So guilt leads to the feeling of doing more, and when you are not able to do more, that leads to burnout, and burnout leads to more guilt, because you're like, oh man, I should be doing more, but I can't. So this vicious cycle never stops. Now, I personally was extremely lucky that I identified my problems before, jumping into this vicious cycle. But like, if you are watching this video and you are recognizing some of these symptoms, then man, you need to do something about it. And now let's come to the best part, the cure, the medicine. How exactly are you supposed to cure this disease if you are also a patient of toxic productivity? So I have developed 2 strategies which have actually helped me a lot and hopefully will be useful for you as well. Number 1 is what I call the Big Bang. The Big Bang is basically this one task. Just one task, no matter how big or small, just one task which you have to get done in a certain day. For example, for me, this big bang could be making a YouTube video, or like filming a YouTube video. So if I film this video today, I am pretty much done for the day. And even if I am a complete loser, a complete lazy chimp for the next days, for like the rest of the day, I can still not feel guilty and blame myself for not doing enough, because I've actually accomplished the Big Bang. So the Big Bang is that one task which you have to get done every single day. That is the most important task, and if you get that done, you have to be satisfied. Now, this does not mean that you're not supposed to do anything else after the Big Bang. That is not what I'm saying. But the Big Bang is the first thing that you have to get done, and everything else is just a bonus. If you can do accomplish more tasks, that is just a bonus, not the main goal of your day. The main goal has to be the Big Bang, and you have to wake up every single morning and identify that one Big Bang that you have to get done that particular day. This has literally helped me a lot. And the second medicine being that you have to define boundaries. You have to set limit for yourself. For example, this could be time blocking, where you write down in your calendar that, okay, after 7 p.m. I'm not allowed to do any work, no matter what. After 7 p.m. I'm just gonna chill out and be a lazy chimp, period. And this is actually where an interesting fact comes in, because for me, for example, making these YouTube videos does not really feel like work. This is actually fun for me. I enjoy sitting and talking to the camera or editing videos, scripting videos. For me, it does not really feel like work. So sometimes I might tell myself that, okay, after 7 p.m. maybe I can script this certain video. No, you have to set limits, even though that is fun for you, but still you have to stop and not do any work, because even though it is fun, you're still draining yourself, you're still using that brain power. You have to sit down and actively do stuff. No, you have to set limits, no matter how fun the task or the activity at hand is. I have not fully recovered from this disease of toxic positivity, but I'm trying my best, and luckily I did not go so far deep into the shiz that is hard for me to recover. Luckily, I know that I will recover. It's just gonna take some time, so I'm still trying my best, and hopefully this video helped you as well. That's a wrap for today, Sapiens. Now you might want to check out this video where I talk about why I do not study for more than 2 hours a day in medical school. So I'll see you guys on the other side, and subscribe!